What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today we're playing FUT Champs games. Okay, we were 9-1 after our first 10, losing unceremoniously in the 9th game. I don't want to say should. I don't feel like I'm entitled to wins. I don't deserve wins just because I'm me, although I am great. Yeah, so 9-1. And I've got 7 more games here today for you guys. The first comment I read, the top comment, lots of thumbs up, more than I could have anticipated for a comment as such, comes from Aman24. And he says, I would prefer if you didn't have a time limit on these videos. If you have something you want to talk about or questions you want to answer, just answer them and throw some bronze pack method on the screen while you do it. I bet a lot of people tend to listen as much as they do watch. And, alright, no problem at all. I can do that. The problem with that is not actually a problem, but like the thought behind that is that quite often I ramble on about nothing and say the same thing more than once. And so if I have no time limit, that might happen even more than normal. I lost this first game of the day 4-0 after creating more than enough opportunities to score goals. I have no words. I'll let you guys be the judges of that game. JML1877 says, just a thought, if they had the tournaments you were talking about, I think it'd be fun. I'm in the tournaments you get, if in the tournaments you get given certain squad set of 18 players that everyone has to play with based on the player. For example, if you're playing for a Torres, everyone would get a team with Spanish players, Atletico players, and Chelsea players. So it's based purely on skill, not based on your team. And I like that, to take something different out of your point and not to actually answer your point, what you're asking for is fair squads. Before FUT Champs was the way that EA did their, competitive scene, they used to have something called FIWC. To qualify for FIWC, you had to play as many games as you could. It was riddled with cheaters. It wasn't necessarily a great way to do it, but they did it like this. And no matter what team you picked, the actual technical and physical and defending stats and such were all the same. I believe everyone was rated 84. So every single player was an 84 rated player. The only things that were different in each individual team and so on and so forth were the skill moves, the weak foot, the work rates, and the height. Other than that, everything was the same. Pace, physicality, it was all the same. So what that did is it promoted a fair game where skill would prevail. You know, the understanding of the game mechanics, the decision making, things like that would be the dominant factor. If they did something like that in Ultimate Team, the problem is it would remove the need immediately for anyone to spend money on packs because you get to play with the same team as everybody. And although I think in terms of an e-sport, in terms of competitive gaming, a level playing field should be paramount. It should be paramount. It's like, you know, let's say we go into League of Legends and you buy a boost that gives you plus 50% damage for a game. Like, imagine that, you're watching LCS and someone just presses a button on a keyboard. Pop, what have you just done? Oh, I've just, $100. I just bought the 50% damage buff. Wait, that's not fair. They don't have that opportunity. What's going on? You know what I mean? So I don't think, and although, this game, the team that you play with has limited bonuses for you, it has bonuses for you. If you go in with a 80 rated team of all 80 rated players and you come up against a full Prime Icon Team of the Year team, you are going to be at a disadvantage even if you're the better player. You might still win because you're the better player, but that long shot that he takes versus that long shot that you take, he has just immediately an advantage at scoring those chances, right? So the fact that FUT Champs just quite simply promotes pay to win to a degree, and again, I want to stress that I don't think team is everything, but it is definitely a factor. The fact that it does promote pay to win to a degree is embarrassing for what we would consider in esports. It's embarrassing. It benefits those that can spend time or money and not those that have skill. And I don't necessarily think that's fair. Again, the problem is that if EA implements something like that in FUT Champs, where everyone is on an exactly even playing field, and imagine this, no matter what team you have, it's just the same. So you could still have your basic team, but when you go into FUT Champs, they're all the same stats. So I can have my Ronaldo and Team of the Year Modric in divisions, and they have the stats that their cards say they have, but in FUT Champs, it has all 85s or something. They can have that, but it will just discourage people to buy packs. And as sad as it is, EA have shown time and again that making people spend money is their primary objective. It might not be the only objective, but it is definitely, if not the primary objective, one of the primary objectives. So under that kind of like assumption, they're never going to promote fair play whilst people are just happy to spend to try and gain an advantage, sadly. OTM Beast Gaming says, hey Nep, can you play and upload or stream Fortnite? I've stopped playing FIFA and started playing Fortnite as it stopped me watching you, AA, Nick and many others. If you enjoy Fortnite and you have some time, can you stream it? Thanks, Aria, man. Watch you since you were a FIFA skiller. Well, I appreciate the fact you've been around for a long time, man. That's very nice to read and nice to see. I've played Fortnite for a fair few hours. I just don't like it. I've watched people play Fortnite a lot, and I understand the game intensely. I understand the building aspect. I understand the fact that it's a lot more skill-based than something like PUBG because you have the building aspect. I understand how the zone works, the jump pads, the fires. I completely can understand the game. I just don't enjoy it. I don't know why. I tried it for some hours. I've watched it a lot. I just don't enjoy it. I know right now it is the most popular game out there as well. You know, I've seen FIFA YouTubers uploading Fortnite videos and getting the same, if not more views than their FIFA videos. You know, when Nick streams Fortnite, he gets as many, if not more viewers than when he plays FIFA, depending on the time of day and what's going on in FIFA. But as a general stream, he'll get 3,000 to 4,000 people watching play Fortnite and 2,000 to 4,000 people watching play FIFA. So, you know, I know there's more views potentially in Fortnite, but I'm not that kind of guy that will just chase money because it's just not worth it. I won't play and upload a game that I don't enjoy just because it gets more views. And I know that's, in a sense, that's very strange because of what I'm saying about FIFA. You know, I'm not necessarily enjoying FIFA right now, but I actually love FIFA. I enjoy the idea of FIFA. I enjoy the concept of FIFA. I just don't enjoy certain aspects within the game. But in terms of Fortnite, I feel like I just don't enjoy the game in general. You know, I like all of it. Like, if I'm going to spend time not playing FIFA, I'd rather play Diablo, FIFA Mobile, League of Legends, like PUBG, something like that, because those games are games that I actually have fun on and enjoy playing. So sadly, I'm not going to say no to Fortnite. I'm just going to say it's unlikely. That's what I'll say. But that's not a no. We'll see how it goes. Joshua Hedges says, hey Nep, what Team of the Year cards have been the most enjoyable for you to use out of the ones you have experienced, and why? And do you believe that any of the cards are now value for money in any sense? Love your series, mate. You're the only YouTuber I watch religiously. Well, thank you for the kind words, dude. I don't know about value for money because I don't really know the actual price of the Team of the Year cards. Marcelo 915, not value for money. I enjoyed Marcelo, but he's not value for money. We've got Ronaldo's not value for money. Kane, no. Messi, no. Modric at 1 million coins. I mean, I would probably say he's not value for money. And you know what? There's not a single player there that is value for money, because there are always alternatives that are considerably cheaper that are just as good or almost as good. You know what I mean? Like Team of the Year Ramos at 1.6 million, or even Rio Ferdinand at 1.1 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't represent value for money. In terms of the players that I've used, that I've enjoyed the most. Now, I've used most of the players, a lot of them through drafts, some of them obviously on this main account. Kevin De Bruyne and Luka Modric Team of the Year cards are two of my favourite cards this year so far of everything I've used. And going forwards, they will most likely be the two mainstays in this team through Team of the Season, through anything World Cup related, through any new promos. The De Bruyne and Modric will almost definitely remain in my team because I find them to be exceptional. I'm also super excited for De Bruyne's 5-star weak foot upgrade because he deserves it, and if he does get it, it will give him another element that makes him even better yet. And it's possible that De Bruyne gets an actual upgrade. I don't know if that will affect his Team of the Year card because of how much it's, you know, how much further along it is compared to his Team of the Group Stage card, but it's possible. There's a small chance that De Bruyne gets a Team of the Year gets an upgrade. I'd say like a 0.1% chance, but still a chance. So in terms of the ones that I've used, Dani Alves and Marcelo were nice to have in the team, but you know, as you guys convinced me several times, relatively waste of coins because they're like using Alexandra and Versalco, who, by the way, Versalco is unreal. then and there's another game that I lost that you tell me if I just, what have I done? I mean, I didn't really show the whole game, I just showed the goals, but maybe I should show like a whole game like that one time and really get the feedback from you guys as to what I've done wrong. But yeah, I think fullbacks, unless they're the final upgrades, fullbacks and goalkeeper, you should never really spend more than 50, 60, 70k on. You know, Alexandro, David Alaba, Inform Versalco, Valencia, that's good enough. You know, that's good enough. JMR says, are you going to play the World Cup mode? I can't wait for the World Cup mode. I'm super excited for the World Cup mode. If it's anything like last World Cup mode, it's going to be the most enjoyable thing you've played in many years on Ultimate Team. That's right, it's that good. For those of you that missed out the FIFA 14 World Cup mode, it was just brilliant. It was a complete change of pace. It was fun. It was engaging. It had a great replayability factor. It was just generally sensational. If they do something at least similar to that, I'm going to be so excited to play the World Cup mode. So excited. Jack H says, "Hi Nep, I remember early in the year, finesse shots from the edge of the box were a viable / meta tactic. Now I rarely see anyone doing anything other than low drivens. Why is this?" During one of the patches, one stage or another, EA buffed the AI. I used to get a lot of space on the edge of the box in that D, like right at the top of that D, to be able to take those finesse shots. Remember how many finesse shots I scored with Henry and Ronaldo in the early stages? As soon as I got to around that D, finesse, bang, goal. Finesse, bang, goal. I scored goal after goal after goal. Now, it's very, very rare that you get any space on the edge of the D, because what EA have done is, instead of balancing the shots from that area, as we actually take a long shot from that area, instead of balancing the shots from that area and either making the goalkeepers more responsive to those shot types or making the players less accurate from those shot types, what they did is they buffed the defensive AI to close down and block more in that area. In my opinion, I don't have facts and figures to that. This is just what I can notice from watching and feeling and understanding the game, is that they basically changed the way the AI works to the point where you just don't get the ability to take those shots anymore, which is why new shots have developed as the new meta. So there's that. And the last comment we've got for today is from Alex Truscott. Alex says, "Hey Nep, I think the reason this game is dying out for most of the community, including me, is that there's no fun in grinding the game. I started playing FIFA Mobile when you started the mobile series, and I have to admit, I find the mobile app more fun than the game itself. This week, the mobile app is doing an event. I'm sure you've seen it. It's called Carnival. In this event, you grind your way to a skill game, and if you win, you progress. As you continue, you receive special cards and coins. However, there are multiple paths with different difficulties and cards that you can not only choose a path that suits your skill, but also can go for a specific card if you wish. If you complete the whole event, there is an icon Puyo. In general, I just think the FIFA console games should just use events like this that bring fun back into grinding the game and giving you something other than coins." There's lots to agree with on that. I think one thing that EA have got wrong this year is that the grind for us this year is for coins and packs and not for cards. Because even the red monthly cards are just cards that you can buy in the game. So, you know, all you get is coins and packs for the grind. Unless you look at it a bit different and think maybe you're grinding for a prime icon. And every time you get a pack that contains players, you can buy, sell players, get those coins, use those coins to grind towards that prime icon. But it doesn't feel like a good long grind because it's such a long-term thing. You know what I mean? It's such a long-term thing. With that being said, I definitely think they need to offer something other than packs and coins that we can grind towards. And squad battles was such a good opportunity to do that, to give us cards or unique items that you can't get outside of squad battles that would have been fun. But I made a thread on Reddit last night talking about what we talked about in the video last night, you know, talking about how this game is kind of a little bit backwards because we don't have something that has like high replayability factor that is fun to play. But a lot of people, a lot of people agree with me, but a few people also raised very valuable concerns that ultimately that wouldn't even make much of a difference because the gameplay is so fundamentally broken that even if they did offer something like a tournament that offered you know, upgrading progressive rewards throughout a period of time, it still wouldn't be fun to play because this game generally isn't fun to play. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that I don't enjoy the gameplay in this game. What I don't enjoy is the intensity of the gameplay in this game over a short period of time, because I actually thoroughly enjoy playing FIFA. I enjoyed the actual game itself. There are certain issues with this game that I have, for sure. I think player switching is awful. I think auto lunges are so pertinent in a game where they just shouldn't exist. You know, like, I understand that the AI has to do some work because it controls 20 of the players at any given time, but the AI should never ever do something with the player that I'm controlling. So when, you know, when I'm running in a straight line and I'm about to pick up a loose ball, and then out of nowhere my player just lunges, this should never happen. This feature should never be in the game. So for me, like, player switching, auto anything, auto passing, auto lunging, auto blocks shouldn't be in the game. The AI has been buffed so heavy defensively that it really has reduced the skill gap, and that's why those games that you saw me lose where I had more shots and stuff, that's why those games are super frustrating, because I feel like I was the better player. I created more chances, I created better chances. In a couple of those games I dominated possession, and I lost because the defensive AI was so strong for my opponent that he was able to soak up all my pressure and then just counter me and get goals and beat me like that. And then when he got the first goal, he sits even deeper and his defensive AI does even more work. So referee decisions are also something that I think need a lot of work. But outside of those gameplay issues, I think this game is very good. I think this game is fun to play. Let's say that. I actually enjoy this game. Other than like 3 or 4 major gameplay mechanic issues, in my opinion. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. You know, it's interesting that I would love to see something that's worth grinding for, like promos that worth grinding for. Like, for example, the One to Watch event. Just have a tournament. Have a tournament, and if you win the tournament, you get a One to Watch pack, and that's it. You just get a One to Watch pack with a random untradeable One to Watch. That way, for those that can't afford to build the team to do a One to Watch pack that costs 50 or 60k, they get a One to Watch for essentially nothing. You know, for some skill, and you know, make the tournament have stipulations and rules and regulations so that it's a bit more or a bit less generic for the teams that you're going to come up against. Make it a bronze team. You know, you win this tournament with a bronze team, it would reduce the worth of icons and gold cards for this one tournament, and then you get yourself a Ones to Watch card. Boom. And like I say, I think that would be fun, but I do understand the concerns of multiple people that say that does, like, ultimately that would just be papering over cracks of the fact that the gameplay is not enjoyable. And I completely understand people that think the gameplay is not enjoyable. Like I said, for me, there are a few fundamental issues within this game. But one of my biggest gripes with this game is the fact that we are forced, if we want the best rewards, we are forced to play so many games at such a high intense level over such a short period of time. That's what triggers me the most. Because when you get triggered, when you get frustrated through your own fault or through the game's fault, you have no time to adjust. You can't just go and... We've discussed it so many times before, but you can't get that loss back, and you can't just walk away for a few hours and come back, because that's a few hours of time that you don't have to fit those 40 games in. So after 17 games, guys, I find myself 14-3. I absolutely could have been 17-0 on this run so far. I had one really tough game against that guy that had Hullet in his team that I beat in the 90th or 120th minute. I can't remember which, but I scored it like right at the death. But I've been actually playing fantastic FIFA this weekend league. As I say, 14-3 is great. Could easily finish like 16-4 or 17-3. Could even finish 14-6. I might go on a loss streak. You never know. But this pace of playing for me has been fun. I'm going to manage to get in probably 20 to 22 games this weekend league, and it's a pace where I'm super happy with the pace that I've been playing at. I'm happy with the FIFA that I've been playing, and I'm able to actually analyse and see where I'm going wrong and could potentially fix that for next weekend, rather than not having time to think, okay, where did I go wrong? I don't know, because I've got to get into the next game, So I don't know. I like I said to you guys many times before, we're going to try a few different things on the channel over the next few weeks in terms of producing content for Foot Champs. We will be taking less intensity into Foot Champs. It's probably going to be a Gold 2, Gold 1 monthly reward for us, but so be it. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. For now, guys, I'm out. Peace.